The last 24 hours of Liam Payne's life. The world was shocked when it was announced on October 16, 2024, that 31-year-old Liam Payne had died after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Payne, the young man from Wolverhampton, England, who entered X Factor as a teenager and rose to international fame as a member of One Direction, one of the best-selling boy bands of all time, selling 70 million records worldwide and winning nearly 200 music awards. Even after the band disbanded, Payne continued to stay in the spotlight with a few solo hits and recently announced plans to create more music. This was his biggest hit solo in 2017. He seemed to have the world at his feet. However, despite being incredibly wealthy and a father to a young son, Payne struggled with the constant attention and expectations that came with fame. As a result, his mental health suffered, and he faced a long history of alcohol and drug abuse, of which he had spoken openly about. Although he supported his bandmates' successful solo careers, his own pursuits failed to gain traction, and by 2024, he had become the target of online ridicule due to a series of erratic interviews and behaviours, making him the subject of jokes and memes. This is the tragic story of the events leading up to the last 24 hours of Liam Payne's life. Arriving in Argentina. Liam and his girlfriend of 2 years, 25-year-old Kate Cassidy, arrived in Argentina on September 30th. They had travelled to the country to support Liam's former One Direction bandmate, Niall Horan, who was performing at the Movistar Arena. Additionally, Liam planned to renew his expired US visa. After attending the concert, videos emerged of Payne dancing and interacting with fans, and at one point he was asked to stop by security. After the footage circulated online, newspapers and fans accused Liam of stealing the limelight from Horan and seeking attention for himself. He was widely mocked on social media, and some claimed his behaviour was cringe. If that wasn't humiliating enough, his ex-fiancée Maya Henry had also come out, accusing the singer via TikTok of his toxic behaviour when they were together and his constant contact since they split up. In the days leading up to his death, Henry had sent Liam a cease and desist letter to stop his harassment of her family. In another blow to the singer, it was revealed that his record company, Universal, had dropped him after believing his new music would not appeal to his fanbase. However, although all this must have upset Liam, he and his girlfriend put on a brave face and documented their trip to Argentina with several light-hearted Snapchats. It is believed that the couple initially stayed in a luxury Airbnb property before moving to the Palacio Duo Hotel. During their trip, they were accompanied by Roger Nores, whom Payne referred to as his manager. Nores is an Argentine businessman who had developed a close relationship with Payne in the 6 months leading up to his death. The couple also visited friends and played polo. Kate goes home. For unknown reasons, Kate Cassidy flew home to Miami, Florida on October 12th and documented her journey back. It has been reported that Kate tried to leave before the 12th, but Liam begged her to stay. There are also unconfirmed reports that after Kate left, Payne was thrown out of the Palace Duo for being drunk and upsetting guests. He then relocated to the Casa Sur Hotel in the Palermo district after he was unable to return home due to delays in his visa application, which were related to his previous substance abuse issues. However, after undergoing a strict investigation that included x-rays and a blood test for traces of drugs, he was found to be completely clean the day before he died and had an appointment with the embassy to get his passport stamped with the visa on October 17th and was due to fly back to America on the 18th. Erratic behaviour. It seems that things began to go wrong for Payne after Kate left. Reports indicated erratic behaviour, suggesting he might have been under the influence of drugs and alcohol. This is some of the last footage of Liam alive, seen meeting fans and signing autographs. He seems unsteady on his feet and not quite himself. Chillingly, the outfit he is wearing is the same one he had on when he was found dead. In the past, Liam has openly discussed his struggles with mental health, along with his addiction to drugs and alcohol. He was also diagnosed with ADHD, a disorder that impacts a person's behaviour, focus, ability to sit still, and impulse control. However, in recent months, he had spoken about being clean. In a 2021 podcast hosted by Stephen Bartlett, Liam spoke about how spending long periods alone in hotel rooms during his time with One Direction contributed to his alcohol addiction. Whether being alone influenced his decision to contact 2 sex workers on the day he died, we'll never know. But through an online escort agency, Liam booked 2 25-year-old women to join him in his hotel room. The women arrived at around 11:30 a.m. and stayed with him until around 3:30 p.m. They later claimed Liam seemed normal and they drank alcohol in his room, but saw no evidence of drug use. However, they left later than expected as Liam refused to pay them. It is not known if any sexual activity occurred. Shortly after the woman left, Liam was seen in the hotel lobby arguing with an unknown woman about money, allegedly telling her, "I'll give you $20,000 just because I can. I have $55 million and I like to help people." Witnesses claimed Liam was trying to attract attention, wanting people to recognize him, and at one point was led on a sofa in the lobby on his laptop when it is believed he received an email that caused him to fly into rage. After opening the email, he shouted, "Expletive this, expletive, mate," and smashed his computer on the ground. A guest at the hotel claims Liam was visibly upset after reading the email and said to her, "I used to be in a boy band. That's why I am so expletive up." Another witness claims Liam had a short seizure in the hotel lobby, likely caused by the drugs he had ingested. Liam's behaviour was increasingly erratic. He was supposed to check out of his room, but was refusing to do so. In a desperate attempt to get Liam to leave, the hotel contacted his friend, Roger Norris. Norris arrived at the hotel and witnesses claim he was clearly irritated by Payne's behaviour and tried to coax him into the elevator back to his room to pack, whilst apologising to hotel guests for Liam being high. This is one of the last CCTV images of Liam as Roger tries to get him in the lift. After taking Liam to his room, Roger left the hotel, still apologising for Liam's behaviour. It is unknown why he left him in the room alone, as Liam was clearly in a psychotic state. Shortly after, hotel guests heard doors slamming and loud noises coming from Liam's room as he completely trashed it. A concerned hotel front desk manager made 2 calls to emergency services with requests to respond to a hotel guest who is overwhelmed by drugs and alcohol and destroying his room. The caller said, "I don't know if the guest's life is in danger, but he has a room with a balcony and we're a little afraid that he might do something life-threatening." Payne's room was on the 3rd floor and had a balcony about 45 feet above an interior courtyard. At around 5:07 p.m, a loud noise was heard in the courtyard of the hotel, and shortly after, Payne's body was discovered having fallen from his balcony. Emergency services were on the scene in minutes, but Liam was pronounced dead at the scene with no possibility of resuscitation. Following Liam Payne's death, police found substances in his hotel room, as well as several destroyed objects and furniture. Take a look. Sadly, within hours of his death, pictures were taken of his dead body laying on the ground. These photos were distributed online by TMZ, who later deleted them, but not before they were widely distributed, and heartbreakingly before Liam's family had been informed of his death, something his sister later confirmed in an emotional tribute to her brother. As soon as news of his death broke, hundreds of fans gathered outside the Casa Sur hotel, lighting candles and singing as they watched his body be taken away in an ambulance. Initial investigations reported Payne's body was found with a bottle of whiskey, his baseball cap, a lighter, and a mobile phone nearby. It has been widely reported that a cocktail of drugs were found in his body during a partial autopsy. These included crack cocaine, methamphetamine, ketamine, and MDMA. However, these are only preliminary tests, and it may take several weeks before the full extent of the drugs and alcohol circulating in his body when he died are made public. Payne's autopsy concluded that the traumatic injuries that caused his death were consistent with his 3-story fall from the hotel window, and prosecutors have ruled out anyone else being involved. At first, it was reported that Liam jumped, but it has since been confirmed that he fell backwards, sustaining multiple injuries on the back of his head that killed him instantly, and due to the position in which the body was found and the injuries from the fall, it is believed he did not adopt a reflexive posture to protect himself and may have fallen in a state of semi or total unconsciousness. Liam's death was reported by the authorities at 5:07 p.m, less than an hour after Roger left the hotel. Unanswered questions. Since Liam's death, there has been a lot of speculation about how he died and what could have been done to save him. If, as has been reported, that Liam had a seizure in the lobby, why was an ambulance not called? Why was Liam Payne alone in his hotel room? He was clearly in a state, as witnessed by many guests and employees at the hotel, including his friend Roger Nores. Why was a man who was so obviously in a psychotic state left alone in his hotel room, with a dangerously low balcony wall? Where was his bodyguard? It is known that Liam's bodyguard, Paul Higgins, from his One Direction days, frequently travelled with Liam after the band disbanded and was like a second father to him. So why wasn't he by his side in Argentina? Kate Cassidy, Liam's girlfriend, reportedly agonised about leaving the One Direction star alone in Argentina. Allegedly, a friend quoted her as saying, "I can't leave him, or else who knows what will happen, and if I leave him, what will he do?" So if she knew he was so vulnerable, why did she leave? What was in that email that made Liam so upset? A hotel employee said that one of Liam's ex-girlfriends was staying in the room above his, although it hasn't been revealed which of his exes it was or why she was there. Aftermath. As the news filtered through about Liam's untimely demise, there was an outpour of grief from around the world. His family, friends, and ex-girlfriends all paid heartbreaking tributes to him, all with a common theme of how kind he was. Cheryl, the mother of his 7-year-old son Bear, called the news earth-shattering and called for media restraint on reporting. His former One Direction bandmates also put out a heartbreaking tribute. All across the world, vigils were held by fans, with the outside of the hotel where he died turning into a shrine. The day after his death, Liam's father, Jeff, travelled to Argentina to identify his son and aid in the repatriation of his body. In heartbreaking scenes, he was seen with Liam's bodyguard looking at all the tributes to his son. He also stood on the balcony below where his son fell, reenacting what might have happened. In light of Liam's death, a petition has been proposed called Liam's Law that would protect children's and adults in the public eye, especially in the entertainment industry, against the intense scrutiny and pressure their careers bring. The petition called for mental health checks and regular medication checks to safeguard and support people in the public eye. Liam is not the first young star to succumb to drugs and alcohol, and he won't be the last. Despite the millions that Liam and One Direction made, when it was all over, he was left to his own devices, something he clearly struggled with and led to such a tragic outcome. It seems there were many opportunities to save Liam Payne, and there will always be questions as to why a clearly psychotic man was led back to his room and left alone. Those who knew Liam don't believe he intended to take his life. He had his whole life ahead of him, but his demons got the better of him, resulting in his accidental death whilst out of his mind on drugs. Just hours before his death, Liam posted one final Snapchat of him and Kate. Our hearts go out to all who loved Liam Payne. May he rest in peace.